What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm just coming on to do a game preview and score prediction for the SEC championship game coming up this weekend between the 12-0 Georgia Bulldogs and the 9-3 LSU Tigers. So I'm going to go ahead and get right on into it and compare these two teams offensively, defensively, talk about some other players. But anyway, as far as offense, LSU is averaging 241 yards passing per game, 192 rushing per game for an average of 433. I don't think they'll get that many yards on offense against this Georgia Bulldogs defense. The Georgia Bulldogs defense is giving up 191 passing, 79 rushing for a total of 270. So that's a big discrepancy between how many yards of offense that LSU is averaging against how many yards of offense this Georgia defense is giving up. So LSU might have a problem. Well, I'm quite sure they're going to have a problem. Okay. Well, offensively, the Georgia Bulldogs is averaging 286 yards a game passing, 203 yards rushing for a total of 489. Okay. LSU defensively is giving up 203 passing, 144 rushing for 347 yards per game that LSU's defense is giving up. Another big discrepancy. They're giving up 347 while Georgia is gaining 489. So, will Georgia get that many yards against this defense? I believe so. I believe so. Georgia, they got better talent than LSU all the way around, offensively and defensively. Georgia's scheme on defense is built to stop any offense, really. Any offense. I know Jaden Daniels, he's a dual threat quarterback. I know he's prolific with his legs. He's better at running than he is passing. But I don't think this Georgia defense will have no issue because Kirby Smart and Will Muschamp is two of the greatest defensive minds in college football right now. And Kirby Smart have been for a long damn time. Plain and simple. But as far as let's talk about some of these LSU players. Jaden Daniels, like I say, he's prolific with his legs. He's got 11 touchdowns on the ground. Through the air, matter of fact, he done passed for 2,566 yards and 15 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. Okay. But Jaden Daniels is just a regular average quarterback when it comes to these Georgia Bulldogs, whether it's throwing or running. But in my opinion, his throwing is below average. He done had a couple of great games, but for the most part, he's not a good thrower to me. Now, Ronald, excellent. That's why he didn't rush for 824 yards. And like I said, with 11 touchdowns. So he's an excellent running quarterback. These other guys, these running backs, Josh Williams, he has 6 touchdowns on the ground. He had 477 yards on the ground, 6 touchdowns. John Emery Jr., he got 7 touchdowns. Noah Cain with 7 touchdowns. Amani Goodwin, 5 touchdowns. All those touchdowns are on the ground. So that's about 35 touchdowns they done scored on the ground. 14, 20, 25, 36 touchdowns that LSU done scored on the ground. And guess what? Georgia's offense is built to stop the run. In the first part of the season, they didn't look that good to me, the front seven. But now, I mean, Georgia defense improved game after game after game. So I don't think stopping LSU's run will be no problem. In my opinion, that's yet to be seen. But through the air, You know, like I say, Jaden Daniels, he ain't all that as far as a passer to me. But anyway, as far as their wide receivers, I think Jeray Jenkins, he's got 5 touchdowns. He got the most. Brian Thomas Jr., he's got 4. Mason Taylor got 2. And Keyshawn Butte and Malik Neighbors got 1. And Josh Beck got 1. Keyshawn Butte, he's not the guy that I thought he was going to be coming into this season. Like I said, he's only got 1 touchdown, and he has 431 yards receiving. He was excellent his freshman year, and we know last season he was hurt. So I thought he would get it back together by mid-season, but it never came to be. The main receivers is Malik Neighbors. He got 726 yards passing, and, you know, Keyshawn Butte is behind him. You got Brian Thomas with 306 and 4 touchdowns. And like I said, Jeray Jenkins, 322 with 5 touchdowns. But I don't think this LSU offense, unless they come up with some new shit, will be no problem for this Georgia's defense. Okay? I don't think that LSU have the athletes or the coaching to compete with these Georgia Bulldogs, because I think Georgia's offensive coordinator and defense coordinator can come up with better schemes than what Brian Kelly and his defense coordinator can come up with. So that's just my opinion. But anyway, and when you talk about the Georgia Bulldogs, you know they got some athletes. All of them didn't get recruited as 5 stars or 4 stars. Kirby Smart and those guys, that staff, they just developed those guys. And the thing about this team, they did not get one player out the transfer portal. They developed these guys because, in my opinion, when you go to the transfer portal, you really don't know what you get. Yeah, this player might be all of that at this school, the school he came from, but when they get to this current school, whether it be Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, Ohio State, whoever, you really don't know what you get. They got to come and they got to mesh with your system and the teammates around them. So it is what it is. But Georgia didn't get nobody from the transfer portal, so it is what it is. But Stetson Bennett, walk-on quarterback, once again, 2nd year in a row, leading the Georgia Bulldogs to a 12-0 season and another appearance in the SEC championship and the playoffs, I might add. Stetson Bennett, 3,100 yards. He done passed 3,151 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Okay, me included, still complain about Stetson Bennett. They've been getting off to slow starts here lately. Stetson Bennett ain't played his best games here lately. And he had a couple of games during the season he didn't play his best ball. But the fact of the matter is, he's leading them to win. He's doing enough to get the win along with the help of his teammates. And that's what it's all about. Everybody contributing. So when Stetson Bennett ain't playing his best game, another guy always stepping up, whether it's the running back, the receivers helping him out. Maybe he might throw a poor ball and the receiver adjust to the ball and catch it. So it all works out for the best. So yeah, but even Carson Beck got 4 touchdowns. So we might see Carson Beck in this game in the end. I think so. But anyway, Stetson got 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. All right, Kenny McIntosh, which is a threat on the ground and through the air. Like my buddy told me, he's a Georgia fan. Kenny McIntosh is an extension of the passing game, which he is. Kenny McIntosh, he has 9 touchdowns on the season, 654 yards rushing, 438 yards receiving. That shows he's an extension of the daggone passing game with 438 yards receiving. Some receivers don't have 438 yards, like I just mentioned. Only what, one receiver for LSU is in the what did I say? Only one receiver got for LSU got 726. Keyshawn Butte got 431. And the rest of the receivers for LSU, Kenny McIntosh got more yards than them, and he's a running back. But anyway, Deshaun Edwards, 7 touchdowns, 606 yards rushing. Georgia got some studs in the backfield too. Kendall Milton, 7 touchdowns, 418 yards rushing. No, Kenny Milton got 7 touchdowns, 4 rushing. Let me see, Kenny Milton, 6 rushing, 1 through the air. But anyway, he got seven touchdowns. Stetson Bennett got 7 touchdowns rushing. So it is what it is, and Robinson got 1 touchdown rushing. So they got 31 touchdowns on the ground. Georgia do. So, like I say, Georgia keeps some studs in the backfield. That's nothing new for Georgia and Kirby Smart. That's their game plan. Play good defense, run the ball. So it is what it is. And tight ends. But Ladd McConkey, receiver, he got 120 yards rushing, matter of fact, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. 606 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns receiving. So he got a total of 6. Brock Bowers got 8 touchdowns, 645 yards receiving, 93 rushing. So, and then those are the main guys for us, you know, the receiving corps that's scoring touchdowns. Everybody else got 1 or 2, like Cash Jones got 1, Blaylock got 1, Darnell Washington got 1, which I think Darnell Washington should have more touchdowns. I do, because when you down in the red zone, I think that's what you should be doing, using Darnell more, because he's bigger and taller, got great hands. Just throw it up. He can catch it because he's taller and bigger than everybody else. So that's just my opinion. Marcus Rosemary St. got 2. Dylan Bell got 2. Donnie Mitchell got 1. We know Mitchell, he's been hurt. So I don't think he'll be, a matter of fact, he ain't going to play in this game. He hasn't played for the last 6, 7, 8 weeks. So Donnie Mitchell won't be there. Delp, he got a touchdown. Eric Gilbert, who ain't played in forever, he's got a touchdown. Stetson Bennett then threw this ball. He spread the ball around, plain and simple. So I just mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys that he done spread the ball around to through the air. So I talk about Stetson Bennett dinking and dunking, throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage, receiver doing the rest, throwing the ball 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, doing the rest. But, you know, he done had some deep balls too now. I got to give him credit. And Stetson Bennett, he's not the most accurate passer. So, matter of fact, LSU's defense, they got about 6 to 8 interceptions on the season. So they might get some turnovers. I don't know. They're gonna need it. I tell you that. They're gonna need it. Fumbles too. So it is what it is. They're gonna have to just work it out. I believe they got like 6 interceptions and like 9, 10 fumble recoveries. So they've been getting turnovers. And in order to win this game or even be competitive in this game, they're going to have to get turnovers. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. No other way for them to win this game. Georgia's defense. So, oh my goodness. As far as turnovers, they got 8 interceptions. So they ain't no slouch either. 8 interceptions and 4 fumble recoveries. 1, 2, 3, 5 fumble recoveries. 8 interceptions, 5 fumble recoveries. So they done got some turnovers too. If Jaden Daniels is getting pressure and can't get out of that pocket, then he might make some mistakes too and throw an interception or 2. So it is what it is. But y'all already know I got Georgia winning this game. Plain and simple. I don't even think it'll be competitive, in my opinion. But I got Georgia winning this game. And I got Georgia winning. I'm not going to give you a 50 no more, Georgia. Because you ain't, every time I did it, you won't do it. But anyway, I'm going to give Georgia 38. Georgia 38. LSU. Yeah. Georgia 38, LSU 17. That's my final score, and I'm sticking with it. So congratulations, Georgia Bulldogs. You will be the 2022 SEC champions. Roll damn Tide.